I've always wondered if God is always there, watching us. Why does He allow certain unpleasant things to happen under His watch? He has the ability to intervene before things go wrong. Why then does He not help us? It's a question that's bothered me for a long time, and I know it might be bothering you too. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Maven's Diary. Come sit down for a minute. I've been thinking a lot about this issue that I want to share with you. You know how sometimes things don't go the way we hope, and we start to wonder why God doesn't step in and make everything better? I've been wrestling with that question too. I think it's important for us to talk about it, especially now when things feel so uncertain. So, let's dive into this together. The truth is, God wants to help us, but He cannot help us unless we truly and sincerely want His help. I know that might not make much sense right away, but bear with me. It all starts with how we relate to our fellow human beings, and then how we extend the characteristics of these relationships to our relationship with God, treating Him like just another person. Think about how we deal with each other. Often, when we ask for something, we feel the need to give something else in return. We extend favors to each other and expect the same in return when it's due. It's a sort of balance we try to maintain in our human interactions. We give and take, and sometimes we even keep score. Now, I know you're probably wondering what this has to do with God not helping us. When we go to God for help, we tend to forget that He is not like human beings. We ask Him for something and then begin to promise things in return for His help. We say things like, "If you help me, I will start going to church," or "I will stop complaining," or this or that. It's almost like we're trying to make a deal with God, but that's where we go wrong. But here's the thing. God is God. He doesn't grant help in exchange for something else. He doesn't keep scores. He doesn't want anything from us when He helps us. We, humans, complicate our relationship with God because we introduce other conditions to the equation of His help to us. We impose barriers that block what we asked from God. We make promises that we often fail to deliver, or that become too much for us. The very things that were promised become a burden to us, and we can't keep up for so long. Eventually, we stop doing them. This leads to feelings of guilt because we couldn't hold up our end of the self-imposed bargain. Notice how we still haven't given Him the chance to help. The conditions we set for ourselves end up sidelining Him and keep Him waiting until we try to fulfill what we promised. Most of the time, we never make it that far. Once the guilt kicks in, we begin to withdraw from God, thinking we are insufficient and undeserving of His help. We feel guilty because we couldn't continue with what we promised to give in return. After withdrawing, we begin to develop a sense of self-hatred and resentment towards ourselves and God. Then we start overcompensating and trying to get Him to notice us. Compare this with how people behave around wealthy and influential men, always striving to prove that they are deserving of attention from these people. We think that we fell short, and He didn't think to consider us. But in reality, we asked for His help and kept standing in the way. We didn't give Him the chance to help us. We need to remember that God is not an influential person, and we do not need to break our backs trying to get Him to give us His attention. God does not want anything in return for helping you. Let's pause here for a second and think about it. Imagine you're at school and you need help with your homework. You ask a friend, but instead of just helping you, they say, "I'll help you if you do my chores for a week." It complicates things, right? Now imagine if that friend had said, "Sure, I'll help you, no strings attached." Feels different, doesn't it? That's more like how God wants to help us. No strings attached. Always remember, 1. Promising things in return only puts a block between us and God, because we impose barriers that block His help from reaching us. It's like building a wall that keeps the help on one side and us on the other. We think we need to earn His help, but we don't. God's love and assistance are freely given. 2. God is not a respecter of persons. He is willing to help both the lowly and the mighty. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or what you have done. God's help is available to everyone. Think about that for a moment. Isn't it comforting to know that you don't have to be anyone special to receive God's help? 3. God only needs you to go to Him for help and let Him help you without you getting in the way. Hence the statement, "Let Jesus take the wheel." Give Him full charge of your situation and trust that He will work it out. It's like trusting a skilled driver to navigate through a storm while you sit back and let them handle the road. You have to trust that no matter how bad it is, He has the ability to get you through. He knows a way out. 4. God wants to help you, but He cannot extend help to you unless you show Him that you want His help. He respects our free will. He won't force His help on us. He's waiting for us to open the door and invite Him in. This means being honest about our need for Him and surrendering our situation to Him. 5. God gave us a choice. That is why, although He is willing to help, He is not going to force it on you. He wants you to decide that you need it, and then He can give it to you. It's about recognizing our own limitations and turning to Him with a genuine heart. Imagine being forced to eat food that you do not want, someone forcefully putting that food in your mouth and forcing you to swallow it. That is what it would feel like if God decided to force His help on you. He loves you way too much to do that to you. 6. God does not reach out to you. You have to reach out to Him. God is always near. He's never far away, but He waits for us to make the first move. When we do, we find that He's been there all along, ready and willing to help. 7. God does not care about what you have to bring to Him because it never really matters to Him. His help is not transactional. He wants you to come just as you are, even better if you have completely nothing. Notice how when you are down and out with nothing to give is when He comes through the most. It's not about what we can offer Him, but about accepting what He offers us. Think about those moments when you felt utterly hopeless, and then, somehow, things turned around. Often those are the times when we have nothing left to bargain with, and that's when God steps in the most powerfully. It's like He's waiting for us to stop trying to control everything and just let Him help. So, in conclusion, God wants to help us, but not more than we want His help. He cannot force His help on you when you do not need it. When you go to Him, let go of the situation, let Him take the wheel, and trust Him with it. He can handle it, and He handles it even better than us humans. All right, dear ones, here's the takeaway. Next time you find yourself in a tough spot, remember to go to God without trying to make deals or promises. Just ask for His help, trust Him, and let Him work in His way and time. It might not always look the way we expect, but His help is always what we need. And always remember, He's not a distant, uncaring deity. He's a loving, present God who wants to be involved in our lives. We just have to get out of our own way and let Him in. So let's practice this together, okay? Let's make it a habit to seek His help with open hearts, free of conditions and expectations. Let's trust in His love and care, knowing that He's always there, ready to help us, no strings attached. I hope this makes sense to you, and I hope it brings a bit of comfort and clarity. Life can be tough, and questions about God can be even tougher. But we're in this together, and we're always learning and growing. Let's keep talking, keep asking questions, and keep seeking the truth. I love you guys. Follow for more uplifting and inspiring content. Subscribe to keep in touch and get updates of more episodes of The Maven's Diary.